What's up, Reddit and YouTube? I'm here with the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 6th Gen Ultrabook. Newest one just came out. I just got mine last week. This one has 16 gigs of memory, the Core i7-855U. I also got the 256 gig solid state drive with this through the customization orders on Lenovo's website. And that actually came with the PM961 solid state drive, not the newest 981 that some of you guys are getting out there. I actually swapped it with a Samsung 950 Pro NVMe 512 gig because I got a nice deal on hardware swap. One of you asked about the Surface, if it's much of a fingerprint magnet. Unfortunately, it kind of is. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to show you in the video here. I'll try my best. It's really not too bad, but if you do try hard enough, or especially if your finger's really greasy, my hands are pretty clean right now, it will leave some marks. What I've noticed the most particularly is the palm rests. If you get sweaty palms, it will kind of show. Mine's pretty clean right now. So far, I'm not too worried about it. That's probably honestly only my biggest gripe with this unit. Other than that, the is extremely rigid. It is very quality. You know, this is the quality you would expect from Lenovo for their ThinkPad line. So it's very awesome quality. It's amazing how thin it is. There's the vents. On this side we have their new proprietary docking connector, and of course the lovely Thunderbolt. One thing I found is that I'm super excited to charge my GoPro batteries with my ThinkPad charger. Works great, charges 2 batteries in like less than an hour. One of you asked on Reddit about the drainage channels. So I'm not really sure if these are drainage channels. I think some of these might be, there's these 2 slots here. This is the vent for the CPU fan. There's 2 little slots right here, and there's also one way over here. And I think at least this one is for the locking the slide-in dock, which I don't have unfortunately, but it could double as a drainage channel, although I'm thinking it's probably most likely this one. But of course I am not going to test that out on my $1,800 new laptop. I got the model with the HDR display, which is glossy, and I have my room is quite sunlit right now, and you can very much see the reflection. There's an open window over there, and you can really see how glossy it is. And I've always had matte displays. I have my trusty X220 here. I ordered this brand new in 2012 with the IPS display. So history has taught me to buy the absolute best display available. So I decided to abandon my comfort zone of matte displays and go all in for the glossy. Here it's, they went off now, and yes, it is extremely glossy. Fortunately though, it's extremely bright as well, so it's not as much of a problem in the daylight. Here it is at max brightness, wow. So there's a window right behind the camera here, and you can, you know, if you're working in direct sunlight, the glossiness is probably going to drive you crazy, honestly. For me, it's worth it for the color trade-off. I mean, the fact is, a camera can't do this screen justice, really. The colors just pop like crazy. I do not regret getting the HDR display. It's 100% worth it, despite the glossiness. So the keyboard. A lot of you purists out there are still upset that Lenovo got rid of, you know, their classic 7-row design, you know, from yesteryear, which my beloved X220 has. Me personally, I like both keyboards. There is no doubt that the general layout of the 7-row is definitely better, but the keyboard feel of the X1 Carbon here is amazing. You know, there's a lot of people out there complaining about the key travel. I think the key travel is perfect. It's actually a lot better than I was expecting after reading some of your other reviews out there. So no complaints whatsoever about the keyboard. It is backlit. It has 2 backlight settings. One thing a lot of people are griping about is that it doesn't come on automatically. You have to turn it on manually, you know, by FN spacebar. That doesn't bug me. The touchpad is definitely the best touchpad I've used on a Windows laptop. It's got a very silky smooth, very much like a Mac trackpad. So Lenovo has copied Mac as far as their touchpad gestures go, and I think that is pretty awesome. So you have 3 fingers down, brings you to the desktop, 3 fingers back up, brings you where you were, 3 to the left or right allows you to select whatever windows you have open. It's super nice. Works the best out of any Windows laptop I've ever used. So also with my new X1, got the Lenovo X1 Carbon Ultra Sleeve, which is like a leathery material. I'm pretty certain it's pleather. It is very nice. Here, I'll put the X1 in it. So a couple things I like about it is the very silky smooth protective inside material. You slide the X1 in here, close it. It's got a nice magnetic flap. One of my gripes about it, I wish it had a stronger magnet. Like this can open very easily, and it actually barely even holds on there really once the laptop's in there. One cool thing, if you put it in there just right, you can charge it while it's in the case because the Thunderbolt port there is exposed. However, another thing I really don't like about this is there's a lot of extra space. There's like a good ½ inch of space still around it there. So the sleeve was actually a lot more bulky than I was expecting. So personally, I don't think I like it very much. I will probably use it for now until I find something that is more form-fitting. But other than that, it is a pretty nice sleeve. So I'm not sure what other models this might be compatible with. Here's just a comparison of the X1 versus my IPS X220 on the left here. The HDR screen definitely blows away the stock IPS panel of the X220 from 6 years ago. So glad to see some improvements there finally. If you were wondering or complaining about the slim, low-profile track point on the X1, me personally, I haven't noticed any difference. It works great. My X220 track point is actually kind of worn down, so it's nice to have a fresh one. It did not come with extras in the box, but they are cheap enough on eBay and Amazon. Other question was about fan noise. So when I'm using this off battery, the fan rarely ever comes on. Even when I'm running my virtual lab with 2 virtual machines running, if they're not really doing anything, the fan still rarely comes on. I usually keep it on battery saver mode in Windows 10. This slider is really going to affect your power and your fan. The battery life honestly surprised me on the X1 with the HDR display. Just hanging around the office, doing email, word processing, a couple of Chrome tabs, occasional YouTube video. I've gotten about 8.5, maybe even 9 hours. Phenomenal battery life for this size. For as thin as this thing is, it's really impressive. So I have my 3 VMs running: Windows 10, Ubuntu, and Server 2016. I also have Lisa Gade's X280 review up and playing. And that has the fan going with best performance mode on. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So there's a little bit of a whining sound. It's no different from any other laptop fan, honestly. It's about as loud as my X220's fan. So I have the X1 here rendering this very video you're watching, just a small clip of it. It is on the battery, it's on best performance mode, the fan is going, it is working. I have this thermal sight, and it's kind of hard to get it because it's zoomed in, but you can see the hot spots kind of in the middle of the keyboard there and towards the end, right where the fan comes out. And you can see that right edge is really hot, and that edge does get pretty darn warm if you are doing a lot of heavy stuff with it in your lap. Sometimes, like I sat my hand on it last night when I was just putting this video together in Vegas, and it was pretty hot. Some of you out there have said that there is static or that the speakers crackle. Now, it should go without saying you shouldn't expect great speakers out of a Ultrabook, but I gotta say I haven't had any of those problems. The headphone jack has been perfect. It actually has surprising volume output with all the Dolby settings enabled, which I left default.
10 gigs of RAM, which is a
So here we go.
shipping with, and a 1 terabyte SSD, and the full HD display. So when we're talking about the displays, you still have two. It used to be Lenovo's business laptop displays were, but this one for, you know, one that's not considered a super duper expensive upgrade or anything like that.
Okay, so it does crackle a little bit. It's not the speakers, it's vibrations in the case from the speakers being so loud. The speakers are better than my X220 speakers. The Think shutter is actually in the webcam is a lot smaller than I originally was expecting. I mean, it's tiny. It's like less than half the size of my fingernail. So, but also because of that, it can be kind of tricky to engage it. I'm always afraid I'm going to scratch it, or, which is the worst thing ever, putting a fingerprint on that glossy display. So that's my review. I would absolutely buy this laptop again. It is extraordinary quality. The screen is the best screen I've ever even seen ever on a laptop by a long shot. Absolutely worth it. Extremely high quality. Lenovo X1 Carbon. Thanks for watching.